My Little Pony is owned by DHX Media and Hasbro Studios. Please support the official release. Hello YouTube, T-Sparks here with MLP Lore facts. It's a new thing I'm starting. But before I get started, spoiler warnings for the latest episode of MLP. This is about time before Celestia. In a recent episode, we found out that Celestia has been raising the sun for 1,111 years. Now I'm guessing she first raised the sun when she was a teenager. So I'm putting Celestia's age at 1,126, roughly. Now, this is kind of weird with the timing of the show, how they do with the timeline and whatnot. Everything happened 1,000 years ago, so it's very muddled timeline. I might have to make up a graph of what this timeline looks like. Hey, that might be kind of fun. I'll do that next time. Anyway, on this one, they stated to raise the sun, it took 5 unicorns plus Star Swirl to raise the sun each day. But it was so draining that the 5 unicorns lost their magic for life. Star Swirl had enough power that he would regenerate, but the 5 unicorns would lose all their magic for the rest of their lives. Now think about that for a minute. 5 unicorns a day? 1 year alone, you're talking about tens of thousands of ponies giving up their magic just to raise the sun. Don't quote me on the numbers there. Can you imagine that? The unicorn population must have had to been 3 times the size as it is now to maintain that. And when they were done raising the sun, they essentially were Earth ponies without the Earth pony strength. So they were, in essence, disabled Earth ponies. Now just imagine that. Tens of thousands of disabled Earth ponies. What would these unicorns do? Wouldn't they be ostracized in society for not having magic anymore? And this raises a lot of questions. Like, why did they do the sun every day then? Just do it once a week. You'd still have the same effect. Sure, you'd be in the brightness or darkness longer, but a week should be able to maintain the biosphere. Okay, so this is the most lore we've ever gotten about the time before Celestia. We know the 3 tribes, they did raise the sun before Equestria's founding. But they don't tell us how many unicorns it took back then without Star Swirl. Now, I have my own theories about how the Equestrian solar system works. I think that in the Equestrian solar system, the sun is about the size of our moon. And it is a lot closer to the planet. That is why it's able to support life even though it's so small. And that the moon and the sun are actually locked in place. So for the millennia the planet existed before unicorns mastered the magic, life developed at the equator between the 2 sides. I've seen alien planets like this in certain sci-fi shows. But that's the only way I can justify life developing before the advent of magic. Or should I say the harnessing of magic, because it seems to be a natural phenomenon. So when the unicorns, one day they decided to try to move the sun, and somehow they were able to do it. Now, it is unclear exactly how the process works, but I have a theory. That Celestia does not have to move the sun all day long. She just got to get it started, and then it goes around the planet and stops again, which would make no sense in the way of physics, but this is MLP, so physics be damned. And I think the same is just said with the moon. Because Celestia would literally have to be moving the sun all the freaking time. And once the unicorns started moving the sun and moon, it created a complete biosphere. But one that was completely dependent on the unicorns. So in a way, the unicorns had a massive bargaining chip against the other races. Look, if you don't give us what we want, we won't move the sun and you'll all freeze to death. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I would not like one group having the power over life and death for the rest of the planet. So I can see why they jumped at the chance to get Celestia to do it, because she's just one individual. And she's made up of all three species, or races I should say, so she shouldn't have any bias for any particular race. So, that's what I wanted to talk about this time. I won't drag on too long. I just want to know what you guys think about this. I think there's probably, what, one of you that watched this? Anyway, this episode just seemed to kind of mess up the timeline a little bit. I had the theory that Celestia was at least 2,000 years old. Because they mentioned that Celestia and Luna locked Discord away 1,000 years ago. The Crystal Empire disappeared 1,000 years ago. Luna was banished 1,000 years ago. But the pillars were around long before Celestia and the Tree of Harmony. We don't know how long the tree took to grow. But according to this timeline, it took like a year. So it's really confusing in the timeline here. But I got it down to one simple fact. It's a cartoon with dozens of different writers every season. There is no consistency when it comes to the backstory, and we shouldn't look that deep into it. I know we love to analyze the shit out of the show, but in the end, it is a fluid medium, and it's constantly changing. Well, thank you for anyone that actually listened to my insane theories, and let me know what you guys think in the description. In the comments. Please support the official release. Bye, all.
Okay, no problem. Just put the hay in the apple and eat the candle.